What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Today we are doing the whole week live. This is the week of August 25th. We are going to sit down here together, y'all, and talk about the issues that I felt pertinent to bring up and discuss with everybody this week here in August. So it's the 25th, and we have a whole bunch of news and stuff that's coming our way. A lot of different stories that popped up. And I want to start off today with discussing this. Everybody, we are talking about Halloween Ends, just coming out. Well, actually not coming out yet, but it's scheduled to come out in, I think it's October 14th. And it was announced a few weeks back. What's up, Aiden? Well, not Aiden, it's Mr. Lee. To be honest with you, son, I'll be real. I can't remember your first name. You or your brother. I just remember that it's Mr. Lee. I call both of y'all Mr. Lee. But what's up? Thank you for stopping by, brother. But talking about Halloween Ends, man. Halloween Ends is set to come out October 14th, right? And it was supposed to be in theaters, but now they've announced that it's gonna be a day and date release, meaning that it's gonna come out on Peacock at the house the same day as it goes to theaters on October 14th. And to me, you know, people who talk about movies, if you follow the movie industry and people who sit here and discuss things a lot, they tend to say if a movie goes from theatrical to streaming, or if it goes from theatrical only to theatrical and day release, then that tends to be a sign that the company doesn't believe in the movie. I don't know if that's the case with Halloween Ends. I'm well documented. If you go back and look at some of my videos, I thought Halloween from 2018, very good. I thought Halloween Kills, very bad. And I'm very hesitant to have high hopes for Halloween Ends. But I do believe that this may not be indicative of a movie that they don't believe in. I think it's more of a case of they see a good opportunity to put something out in front of people, so they want to release it the same way that the previous one was released, because Halloween Kills also came out on Peacock and also in theaters. And I don't know if I can get super duper excited for Halloween Ends. Okay, we got a little commentary. You watched the last one when it came out. You kind of enjoyed the ending. Oh, I'm kind of annoyed with the ending. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't like, so talking about Halloween Kills, because we got a little interaction. So Halloween Kills, to me, they redid everything or undid everything that they did with the 2018 Halloween reboot. So that one was focused on Michael as a man, and it was, you know, lines were repeated. Here, in Halloween Kills, they did the whole, like, he's basically superhuman, and he went through all that destruction, and they chanted how evil dies tonight over and over, and he didn't die. So, man, I just didn't care for the execution of that movie when you get down to the story that they were trying to tell. Now, I have been getting comments still under my older videos, people talking about Halloween Kills because, you know, it's approaching. And there were some different takes that people had. One guy actually commented on something like a week ago or maybe over the weekend, and his commentary was like, hey, you know, that's some good commentary, but I still don't think there's enough there for me to get excited. And the reason why I started out, though, the show with Halloween Kills as the first topic, because is the idea of dump it on streaming if we don't believe in it. Well, that's not necessarily true, and here's why. The next story that I wanted to get into, again, links for everything in the description, but the next story I wanted to get into was this, which is Hellraiser, right? So Hellraiser is coming out on Hulu. This is a reboot to the Hellraiser franchise. Disney owns Fox. Well, Fox is no more, but movies are being released under 21st Century Films, which is that, you know, 21st Century Fox movie studio. And instead of putting things out in theaters, they're actually putting things that are R-rated and mature on Hulu, just like Prey. So we just got Prey, the Predator film, the prequel. Excellent movie, very good to watch, very good time. Now, with them announcing Hellraiser going straight to Hulu, it's like, yo, are they gonna do it again? Are they gonna come in with another R-rated, very good reboot of a franchise, just like the Predator? Not really a reboot, the Prey movie was, but it was a new entry into that universe. And my thought is like, yo, are they gonna double up and do it again? I also wanted to take note to mention that in the description, you can see a link to an old video, probably about a year old now, that me and Yogi did at his house last summer, talking about the kings of horror, like the best slasher franchise, you know, talking about it in terms of being placed in the movies and what villains are intimidating. And honestly, Pinhead, you know, Hellraiser, that franchise was the #1 on both his as well as mine, because that franchise produces some very gruesome type moments. So yeah, Hellraiser, I think it has potential. I haven't seen any visuals for it yet. I think they said there was a teaser. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I just kind of want to know from people, do y'all believe in this Hellraiser franchise? Do y'all believe that them putting it on Hulu is not a bad sign, but a sign that, hey, like they just did it with Prey, they want to do it again with Hulu, they're going to release it, it's going to reinvigorate that franchise? What do y'all think about that topic? Moving right along, everybody, I want to go into the long topic. Uh-oh, got a little technical. The long topic of the day. And I don't want to make everything all superhero all the time, but we do have an issue. What you need? What you need?
Rita was saying that she saw a big bug, and it was a lie, but she just wanted me to tell you.
Okay, baby. Go ahead, close the door. All right, live, everybody. So, talking about it, the topic here on the screen, we have Aquaman and Shazam, and the moving of all the different things that have gone on with DC and Warner Brothers and all the stuff that they have going on. And here's the thought that I'm having. As they keep making announcements, different stories are leaking out. So linked in the description is an article talking about the move. Aquaman has moved from this Christmas to next Christmas. Shazam was supposed to be sometime in November or October, and now it's gonna be moved to March of next year. And the story that's linked is a story that's talking about how Warner doesn't have enough money to put out 2 more movies this year. Like, they only have enough cash flow to do and promote 2 more movies. And this move of all the movies is a strategic plan to like stretch the marketing costs. I don't believe it. I don't believe that at all. I think that this is their way of moving properties that they don't necessarily believe in 100%. I'm not saying that Aquaman is bad, but the original release date for Aquaman was December 2022, this coming December. Then it got moved to March. That's not a huge move, but then it got moved to next December, and it's like, that to me lends itself to the idea that they're going to do things to edit this movie and change the movie that they were going to release originally December 2022. I have that's just speculation on my part. That's me just talking, but I just don't believe that they're gonna leave it as is and just put it on the shelf for a whole year. They're gonna tweak things, and they're gonna do things to make this movie different from previous films. So, or let me not say previous film, but from its previous iteration. So that is my thought when it comes to that. I also think the same is kind of true for Shazam. I think they're gonna tweak it a bit, especially with Black Adam coming out still this fall. I think that they're gonna do things to mess with the movies that we're getting. Not that it's gonna be bad, but they're gonna do things to edit them. I can imagine that being the case. So not just that though, I also think these moves that we're talking about relate to The Flash. I think that they're gonna find a way to put The Flash out with no promotion. With all the stuff that's going on with Ezra Miller and the antics and the arrests and the attacks on women and the mental health issue now, and like, how can you have that person involved with marketing or not have that person involved with marketing? It's just a lot of hoops to jump through. I think that this movie is gonna get thrown into theaters, and it won't have a traditional marketing cycle. Like, we may get a trailer with no announcements or anything like that. I think this is, just another way to throw that out there and say, hey, we didn't want to use the budget to promote it because of blah, 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 and all the legal issues and blah, 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 and the negative publicity, blah, blah, blah. So that might be their way. I think these moves definitely have a lot to do with that. Moving on though, or should we move on? Is there anything else there? Let me see what my boy talking about. Honestly, I don't like any of the DC movies besides the Dark Knight trilogy. I just find them boring. So if we want to talk DC for a second, we can sit here for a second. We're only 10 minutes in. My thing about DC is that, and I said it on my last live in the last little whole week wrap up that I did, I talked about how if they would have just stuck with the Zack Snyder vision, it would be all over with now, and then they could reboot, keep actors, switch actors, and do whatever by now, because that was years ago that his original plan went into place. And the company of DC reacts to the fact that they don't make box office the way they want, and so they change things. And it's like, I don't like that. Just come out with a plan, stick to that plan, and do your vision. As far as liking DC, or maybe the idea of comparing it to Marvel or anything like that, I like the different tone that we get from the Marvel films. I really do enjoy them for the most part. Shazam was not one of my favorites, but it was cool. It was cool. Aquaman, the first one, was cool. I wasn't super high on it. I thought it was good. It was a good little entry. It was just enough fun. It was just enough sci-fi. But I really liked the BVS. I really did like Batman versus Superman, and I really liked Man of Steel. Those two movies were great to me. Justice League, the one that went to theaters, not so much, but Justice League, the Zack Snyder's 4-hour-long Justice League, I really liked that one. So, you know, I'm fine with the DC films. I love those characters actually more than I love the Marvel characters from comics, because I am a huge comic book collector guy. I do have thousands of comics still at my disposal. I just don't pull them out because it's too much to always pull them out. But yeah, I like DC, and I would like to see Warner get it together. And also, along the lines of that, in this story, talking away from the DC stuff and just more Warner Brothers, I really enjoyed the trailers, because I saw it in theaters, so I couldn't do a reaction for it. It would have been fake. But I really enjoyed the trailer for Don't Worry Darling, which is the other big movie that they're promoting and putting out, and can't wait to see that in theaters this fall. I think it's sometime in September that movie's coming out. I'm gonna make my way to theaters and check that thing out, because I think there's a lot of mystery and intrigue with the trailers that they presented, and I want to see the story that they're trying to tell. Very much interested. All right, moving on, everyone, to the last topic, because I am going to be called out to do some things in my house. We're going to talk Umbrella Academy, right? There we go. We can put them right there. So with Umbrella Academy, they announced season 4, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, because I just read the article before I sat down. It was Steve Blackman, I believe, is the showrunner there, who's also been contracted to do Horizon Zero Dawn. He's doing the live action adaptation of that. So in the description is a link to an article, an interview that he does talking about one, Umbrella Academy, and then what's the plans with Horizon. Great read. There's a lot of little nuggets, because I don't assume too much when I watch the shows, right? So Umbrella Academy season 3 ended. I did a video or several videos maybe on it. I'm rewatching it with my wife right now. We are in season 3, like episode 5 or 6. She's really enjoying it, and we haven't gotten to the end yet. So when she sees the end and she sees how things kind of turn out, it's like, I want to know her take. And y'all, the audience who have seen the show already, you know that it ends with Ben like on the subway car, and it's like they talk about Ben in this interview, and they say like that is the Sparrow version of Ben. Sloane is missing, and like that's intentional. They talk about the way or the consequences of Hargreaves not totally finishing the plan before Allison kills him and then presses the button. So there's going to be some impact from that, and I'm really itching to see what is impacted when that whole thing unfolds and unravels. So glad that they got renewed for season 4. I would hate for it to go the way of Glow, one of my favorite Netflix shows that got 3 seasons and never got renewed. Now we get to see an end to the story of the entire Umbrella Academy and their family, at least the story of their adaptation, because I know the comics kind of went on for a good while. And also, I'm really interested to see what they do with Horizon Zero Dawn. Like the interviewer in the article, they talk about how you could go anywhere with it. Do you use Aloy as your main antagonist? And they do. They do use Aloy as the main protagonist. And they're going to be taking the direction of like really fleshing out the world. So it's going to be probably a slow world building series in the beginning, but I kind of want to see what they do. I really like Umbrella Academy as his offering that I know Steve Blackman from. So I want to see how he chooses to run things when it's a different property, and you know, what does he bring to that Horizon world? How does he bring that world to life? I think he did pretty good. I don't own any Umbrella Academy comic books, but I have seen images of the comics, and I feel like those characters were adapted pretty well. So I want to see how he adapts that whole world of Horizon Zero Dawn. So I think that's it, and where I'm going to leave it. Mr. Lee, I appreciate your comments. It is very hot in my shooting space. You know, we put on the air and we had things running and, you know, trying to get it right, and it just didn't get quite right. We didn't give it enough time. Also apologize for the thunder. It's been raining. Look at that. Look at that. It's been raining every day, and I just haven't, you know, haven't had a break in the weather. But we scheduled the lives, and we want the whole week to be wrapped up on Thursday. Talk about the stuff from the weekend going into this week. There's going to be more next weekend. There's going to be more next week. Come on back. And Thursday nights around 6:15 is when we plan to get everything popping. So that's all we have for this live. I think it went much better this time around. I might even break these videos up into segments. All right, my boy, we'll see you tomorrow. And for everybody else who sees this later, enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.